Betrayal and Redemption, a love story of forgiveness. My name is Lola. I am a wife, a mother, and a woman who was handed a love so pure, so absolute, it felt like a miracle stolen from a storybook. It was a love I never thought I was worthy of, and for a time, I cherished it. The man I married was not merely my partner. He was my anchor, my foundation, my protector. He saw me from across an ocean, traveled the world just to stand before me, and then built a life for me with his own two hands. He believed in me, even when I had lost all faith in myself. And I betrayed him. I took the masterpiece of our life and reduced it to rubble. This is the story of how my weakness led me into darkness, and how he, in his infinite and devastating grace, offered me something far more profound than the love I had thrown away: forgiveness. Our story began, as mine did, in Africa. I was a young woman with simple dreams, living a life that was both familiar and confining. He was already in the United States, a world away, a man carving out a future. But to him, distance was just a temporary obstacle. He had seen a photograph, heard my name spoken by mutual acquaintances, and something in his soul recognized something in mine. It was a pull so strong, so undeniable, that he booked a flight and crossed the Atlantic. He came back not for a casual visit, but with a singular purpose. He came back for me. I can still feel the nervous energy of the day we met. What would this man from America be like? But when he stood before me, all my anxieties dissolved. There were no games, no pretense. He looked at me not as a stranger, but as if he were finally finding a piece of himself he hadn't known was missing. His eyes were calm, deep, and serious. "I have come here for you," he said, his voice steady and sure. "I want you to be my wife." It was that simple, that direct, that powerful. And in the resonant silence that followed, I believed him with every fiber of my being. After a small, heartfelt ceremony, he had to return to the U.S. to continue his work. For 2 long, aching years, we inhabited different worlds, tethered only by a telephone line and the unwavering strength of his promises. He never allowed me to feel forgotten. The money he sent was a consistent lifeline, but it was his words that truly sustained me. "Keep studying, Lola," he would urge during our late-night calls, his voice a warm comfort across a crackling connection. "Grow, prepare yourself. The life we will build together will be worth this wait." He spoke of our future not as a vague dream, but as an imminent reality. Because of his relentless sacrifice and meticulous handling of the legal process, I was granted passage to America. I boarded that plane with a heart soaring on hope, ready to finally begin my life with the man who had already given me his entire world. He was waiting for me at the airport. The moment I saw him standing there, the exhaustion from the long flight evaporated. He didn't just greet me, he welcomed me as if I were royalty returning to her kingdom. There was no insecurity in him, no possessive jealousy, no need for control. He was a man utterly confident in his love and secure in himself. In the weeks and months that followed, he championed my freedom. He never asked where I was going, never dictated what I should wear, never questioned who I spoke to. "Be free," he would say, his face lighting up as he watched me explore our new life. "This is your life too." And I was. For the first time, I felt I could truly breathe. We raised our child, who had been born during our time apart, in a home built on a foundation of stability, peace, and profound trust. He was a man of quiet, unshakable integrity. His world was his work and his family. He had no female friends, not out of suspicion, but because his heart was solely and completely focused on us. He was reserved, honest, and utterly, beautifully faithful. The flaw was never in him. It was a dormant seed buried deep inside of me, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. One evening, an invitation to a wedding arrived. My husband had to work a late shift. "Go," he said, his smile genuine as he helped me with my coat. "Enjoy yourself. You deserve to be with our people and have fun." So I went alone, stepping out into the crisp night air, completely unaware that I was walking toward a cliff edge, and I was about to leap. The wedding hall was an explosion of sound and color, pulsating with the familiar, deafening beat of our music. Laughter echoed off the walls. I was standing to the side, feeling a little overwhelmed, when a man detached himself from the crowd and moved toward me with unnerving purpose. His smile was dazzling, so confident it seemed to own the very air around him. "A woman with your presence. A queen like you must have a king," he said, his voice a smooth melody that cut through the noise. Frankly, no one would believe for a moment you were single. I immediately raised a polite but firm shield. I'm married, I stated, a fact meant to be a full stop. I felt a small, polite smile touch my own lips, even as I held my ground. Thank you for your kind words, I replied. And you are right, I am married. My husband couldn't be here tonight, he is at work. I offered the information as a simple fact, another layer to the full stop I intended to create. But he saw the explanation not as a barrier, but as an opening. Ah, a hardworking man, he said, his tone full of false admiration. But that aside, we're from the same country, and we speak the same language. Surely there's no harm in a simple conversation between countrymen. His charm was a slow, sweet poison. He didn't just talk, he wove spells with his words. Seeing my hesitation to exchange numbers, he presented a perfect, harmless picture. Think of me as a friend, a brother, or just your personal comedian to make you laugh. I can even be friends with your husband. Besides, he added, his voice tinged with loneliness, I don't know anybody here in America. He had an answer for every objection. And so, without a moment's hesitation, I gave him my number. 2 days later, my phone rang. Hello, is this the private line for the woman who has forgotten how to laugh? It was him. For the next 20 minutes, he made me laugh until my sides ached, filling the silent house with a sound I hadn't realized I missed. The calls became a regular event, but it was in the silence between his calls that the real danger took root. The quiet of my home, which had once been a source of peace, now felt empty. I would find myself alone, replaying his jokes in my head just to feel a shadow of that high again. Once he had established this hold, the conversations began to subtly shift. The jokes were interwoven with whispers of flattery. Any man who can't make you laugh like this every single day is simply not doing his job, he would say, a comment aimed like a precise arrow, creating a tiny, invisible wound in my perception of my own marriage. The daily calls became a source of intense anxiety. Terrified that my husband would overhear, I devised a foolish plan. I would introduce them. Their friendship would legitimize my own, and I could talk to him freely. That evening, I approached my husband. My love, I began carefully, I met a man at the wedding. He's from our country, a bit lonely here. He mentioned he would love to meet you, just to have a friend. My husband, in his trusting way, simply smiled. Of course, our home is always open. Invite him over. The relief I felt was immense. A few days later, he came for coffee. They laughed and talked about life. As I sat there, pouring coffee, a wave of happiness washed over me. It worked, I thought. My secret was safe. After he left, my husband turned to me, a thoughtful expression on his face. He seems like a nice person, he said. But Lola, he added gently, you must always be careful. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Okay, my love, I will, I promised, but it was a hollow, false promise. In my mind, his warning was irrelevant. Emboldened, I became reckless, talking to him on the phone right in front of my husband. He began to watch me with a quiet sadness, feeling me drift away. The breaking point came when he finally voiced the pain I had been ignoring. Lola, he said one evening, his voice heavy. I don't want to control you, but this man, he is coming between us. He is a man and you are a woman. You have to understand why he keeps calling, why you are so happy to chat with him. You forget that you are a married woman. He is passing the border. You have to stop. I listened and kept quiet, but in my profound foolishness, I believed he was wrong. The next day, I confided in the other man. My husband is angry, I explained. He told me to stop contacting you. His response was immediate and indignant. Lola, can't you see? He's trying to control you. You have a right to have friends. He had framed my husband's love as control and his own manipulation as friendship. Feeling angry and defiant, I started meeting him in secret. One afternoon, the game came to a catastrophic end. My husband came home early and saw my car parked around the corner, me inside, laughing with the other man. He waited until the other man left, then blocked my car with his own. The look on his face was a deep, shattered calm that was far more terrifying than anger. The moment the front door of our home closed behind us, the silence shattered. That was him, wasn't it? He asked. I turned on him, armed with the poison the other man had fed me. He is just a friend. I hide because you're trying to control me. Is that it? You brought me from Africa, so now you think you own me. his face fell. "You're defending him over me?" he whispered, his voice cracking. "After everything, I gave you everything." He raised his hand, his body trembling, but instead of striking me, he slammed his fist into the wall beside him, the sharp crack echoing the breaking of our marriage. "You have changed, Lola," he breathed, his voice broken. "The woman I love is gone." He just walked away, defeated. In that moment, I felt no remorse. Only a searing, self-righteous anger. I grabbed my keys and drove straight back to the man who had orchestrated it all. He welcomed me with open arms. "I told you he would try to control you," he said. "Relax, have a drink, forget all this." I drank. And with that one drink, I lost myself. I stumbled home hours later in a fog of self-loathing. I couldn't look my husband in the eye. I vowed it would be the first and last time. When the man called again, I cut him off. "What we did was a terrible mistake," I said, my voice shaking. "It's over, don't contact me again." His laughter was cold and sharp. "Oh, Lola, it's only over when I say it is." That's when he sent the first picture to my phone. An image that made the blood drain from my face. It was followed by a video. I was trapped. My life became a living nightmare. He would summon me, and I would have to go, his slave in every sense. He twisted his obsession into a sick parody of affection, telling me he loved me and that we could be together if I left my husband. He offered me a prison and called it a future. The double life was hollowing me out. I couldn't bear the purity of my husband's love, while my soul was so stained. It was in this state of chaos that he found my phone. He saw the threats, the messages, the vile photos. He saw everything. He didn't scream. He didn't hit me. With a terrifying calm, he gathered the evidence and called the police. Because of him, the very man I had so callously betrayed, my blackmailer, was arrested. When I found out, I collapsed to the floor at his feet, my body racked with sobs. "You are a king," I cried, kissing his feet in the ultimate gesture of begging for mercy. "You never deserved this. It was me who destroyed us. I am so sorry." He looked down at me, his face a mask of sorrow so deep it seemed ancient. "I forgive you, Lola," he said, his voice quiet but heavy. "But we cannot be husband and wife, not now. I have no plans to start a new life with another woman, so if you wish, you can stay. This is still your home. We can take care of our son together, as a brother and sister." His offer was both merciful and devastatingly painful. "Yes," I replied, my voice choked with tears. "Yes, I will stay. I know I am the one who broke this. I can't decide anything. If you ever truly forgive me, it is you who must decide if we can continue, not me." And so I stayed. We continued to live together, but as strangers under the same roof. The intimacy was gone. He would say hello and not much more. I devoted myself to him and our son, treating him with the respect a king deserves, trying to earn back a trust I had incinerated. I cooked his favorite meals. I kept our home immaculate. I was his wife in duty, but not in heart. Months passed in this quiet, painful limbo. We would look at each other across the dinner table, two people in the same house but a million miles apart. Then one evening, as we sat in the quiet of our room, he turned to me. He looked at me, truly looked at me, for the first time in what felt like a lifetime. "You're here, Lola," he said, his voice soft, almost hesitant. "I see you every day. You sleep beside me every night, but I still miss you. I miss you, Lola." He reached out and with a trembling hand, gently touched my face. "I want to kiss you again," he whispered, his eyes filling with tears. "I want to look into your eyes and see the woman I fell in love with. You made a terrible mistake, but you got back up. You became a wonderful woman again, like before. You became that very special woman, as you always were." Tears streamed down my face, tears not of shame this time, but of overwhelming gratitude. Because in that moment, I knew. I had not just been forgiven. I had been given a second chance at life itself. Never, ever trust a stranger more than the partner who has proven their loyalty through action and sacrifice. Never let the fleeting, intoxicating charm of someone outside demolish the home your partner built for you with their love, their time, and their sweat. A predator can be patient. He can wait for months, even years, to find a crack in your foundation. He can speak your language, make you laugh, and tell you everything your heart wants to hear, but what he truly wants is your collapse. Your husband is your pillar, your friend, your safest place in a treacherous world. Treat him like the king he is. Honor him. And never, ever let a passing storm tear down the palace you built together. Empowering stories, subscribe to MGS for more impact. Thank you for listening to this powerful story. This is the kind of journey we are committed to sharing on our new channel, MGS. Our mission is to bring you real, amazing, and impactful stories of struggle, faith, and resilience from around the world. If Lola's story resonated with you, we invite you to subscribe to MGS to support our work and hear more. Furthermore, we believe that everyone has a story that matters. If you have a personal experience you believe could help or inspire someone else, please contact us. We provide a platform for voices like yours to be heard. Remember, your story might be the one that changes someone's life. Thank you again for watching.